there, I'm Professor Failure, and today we finally get to do Typhoid Mary. Now, I've wanted to do this video for a long time, ever since I did the Boston Massacre, but I had to end up choosing Lizzie Borden or Typhoid Mary. Because Lizzie Borden was so much more famous, I figured I should do Lizzie Borden, but later I was going to do Typhoid Mary. But then again, I never got around to doing it because, well, I just kind of didn't get to. Before we talk about Typhoid Mary, typhoid is a fever, not Mary's last name. Typhoid is a fever and it makes you feel like crap. Excuse the word, but that's how it's spread. It's when you don't wash your hands after taking a dump. Now, this all indicates that you should wash your hands, considering that we're in a pandemic. Now, let's travel back to 1900 in New York City when they had no phones. Oh, my Lord. Anyway, immigrants were flooding around from all over the world to start their new lives in America. Anyway, we meet an angel, Mary Mallon. Mary was a cook, and her signature dish was ice cream with peaches. Everyone everywhere loved it, and they were like, honey, you gotta come over here and get some of this good stuff. Let's talk about Oyster Bay. This will come into play later. Everyone everywhere from all over the place was here, presidents to Charles Warren. So what happens to his family? They all get sick. Dr. George Soper rolls up in his hot Lambo and says, honey, everyone has typhoid fever, and people die from this, and this is 1900. We don't have pills for you to take or any antibiotics, so your chances of dying are pretty high. Dr. Soper is being paid to find the source, and so he goes through the plumbing. He does all sorts of things to find it, and then, when he thinks all hope is lost, he gets a call from a family who just came down with typhoid. Dr. Soper interviews the family and finds out that they got a new chef. Ooh. He asked who it was, and they said it was Mary Mallon, and he figured out that she was the same woman cooking for the other family who had typhoid. Dr. Soper rolls up to Mary's house and says, ma'am, I think you've got typhoid fever, and you're giving it to everyone you cook for. She chases him out with a spoon and says not to come back for any trouble. He's not going to listen. Dr. Soper doesn't give up so easily. He needs more evidence. He figures out that 7 out of 8 of the families that Mary has cooked for have all tested positive for typhoid. The health inspector and Dr. Soper both roll up in their Lamborghinis again and say, we have proof that you're spreading typhoid. She's like, no, no, no. The health inspector says, are you washing your hands after you take a dump? And she says, no, no, no. Grab her by her crappy hands, literally, and they head her to an island in their Lamborghinis, where her and her dog sat on the island for 3 years. They tested everything, their sweat, spit, snot, and they did over 100 tests, and they all tested positive for typhoid. Yet she still showed no symptoms. They reason with Mary and tell her, if you wash your hands, then we can shake on it and let you go. So she gets away off the island in her Lamborghini. That's the last joke I'll make about Lamborghinis. 5 years later, there is typhoid breakout. I wonder who it is. Turns out it's typical Typhoid Mary. Again, Dr. Soper rolls up to the hospital, and everyone's got it. Oh no. Soper asks the dreaded question, who's the cook? And the nurse says, well, it's a girl going by the name of Mary Mallon. Dr. Soper bursts into the kitchen and says to Mary, what are you doing? Before she can say anything, he grabs her by her nasty hands and takes her to the island again. For 23 years, she sits and then dies. When she hits the floor, they take her insides out, and then they all have typhoid. Dr. Soper is like, I knew it, she has typhoid. But for some reason, she had no symptoms. They say she was the first person to ever have typhoid but have no symptoms. And she went into the book of medicine and the book of history, which is what we reviewed today. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was fun to do, and if you have any more suggestions, leave it in the comments below. They're always open. Also, if you don't know what to put in the description, I'll have 3 options, and if no one says anything, I'll just pick one. Also, thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Also, go watch Xtreme Dubstep, and congratulations on 100 subscribers, Xtreme Dubstep. I'd also like to say I'm sorry for not posting in forever, but my computer it was not working right for a while. But now that I've got it fixed, I can start to post more videos. Before we go, everyone, I'd also like to go tell you to go check out the new Professor Failure podcast channel. It's mainly for just podcasts only because someone asked me in the comments a few weeks ago, and they said if I was ever going to make any more podcast videos. Well, that channel is, if you like the podcast, that channel's for you. You can watch podcasts once a week with Xtreme Dubstep and me. And that's really it for today. And enjoy the outro music. That's Xtreme Dubsteps as well. Bye, everyone.